A very good morning to everyone. Here we will discuss photoelectric effect. So the phenomenon of black body radiation and photoelectric effect can be explained based on the particle nature of the light. So black body radiation already we have covered in the last class. Now we will see about this photoelectric effect. What is the photoelectric effect? A simple phenomena it is when light of sufficient radiation incident on the metal surface, then electron can eject from metal surface. That phenomena we can call photoelectric effect. When light falls on the metal surface with a suitable frequency or sufficient amount of energy, electrons can be emitted. So this we can see with respect to diagrammatically. We will take one photoelectric cell, or simply photocell. Is a kind of discharge tube experiment setup. This is a negative plate and this is a positive plate. Externally we have the battery. This is kind of let us assume one metal rod. So metal, we have the metal surface. If we incident this metal with some suitable light radiation or photon of suitable energy, then electrons can eject from this metal surface. And this phenomenon we can call photoelectric effect. The ejected electrons can move towards here. This is a cathodic plate and this is anodic plate towards anode, and we can convert here the photoelectron into the current. We can store these electrons as a current in the battery. So the current generated by these electrons we can call photocurrent. And this ejected electrons we can call photoelectrons. Simple ejected electrons are photoelectrons, and this overall setup we can call, this is a photocell. The overall cell is called photocell, and this incident radiation, it is incident radiation. Or simply we can call photons. Radiation nothing but here photon. Photon of sufficient energy can, when strikes the metal surface, electron can eject it. That ejected electrons, if we move externally to that circuit, it can produce some current. That current we can call photocurrent. And here a few points we should keep in mind. So here we used one word. What is that? Actually the definition, when photon of sufficient energy strikes on the metal surface, then only the electron can eject. Means sufficient energy. Here you can note it down that word. If less than that amount of energy, less than the sufficient energy, then what happens? And if you supply more than sufficient energy, then what happens? And what is that sufficient energy? Here the sufficient energy, nothing but the minimum amount of energy required to eject the electrons, is called work function. And for that, anyhow, radiation it consisting of frequency, and that frequency we can call threshold frequency. And anyhow photon it has a wavelength, and that wavelength we can call threshold wavelength. So these points we should keep in mind. Generally you can see here. Let us take one a metal surface. This is a metal surface. A metal surface, anyhow, it contains, it is made up of huge number of atoms, and atoms contains electrons. And these electrons are tightly bounded by the nucleus of that particular atom. So there is a strong forces. We have the nucleus here and electron. There is an electrostatic force of attraction between nucleus and electron. Now, when incident with the light of sufficient energy and strike the metal surface, then electron can eject. When the electron can eject, you have to break the force of attraction between the nucleus and electron. Then only the electron can come out from the atom. Otherwise, it cannot come out, right? So the energy which is sufficient to break this nuclear force, means a kind of attraction force between the electron and the nucleus, then only the electron can come out. That process generally we can call a removal of electron is ionization process. It is called ionization or else ionization energy. So if we incident with sufficient amount of ionization energy, then electron can eject. So let us assume here the ionization energy or the force of attraction between electron and nucleus. So let us assume 100 joules. A kind of, there is a bond energy or binding energy between the electron and the nucleus. So if you supply with the amount of energy with externally with the use of that photon or incident radiation with 100 joules, then this photon can break this bond. Why? Because to break this bond we required 100 joules. So this is the minimum amount of energy required to break this bond, and this minimum amount of energy we can call here work function. And this photon, anyhow, energy means photon has some frequency, and this frequency we can call threshold frequency, the minimum frequency required to remove the electron from metal surface. And also, anyhow, particular radiation, it has a wavelength also, and the minimum wavelength required to remove the electron, means to break this bond, is called threshold wavelength. First, we will note down these definitions one by one. First of all, what is a photoelectric effect? Just you note it down. It is the phenomenon of ejection of electrons. Ejection of electrons from metal surface when light irradiation, when light of suitable irradiation or we can say photon here strikes the metal surface. So this phenomenon is the phenomenon of ejection of electron from metal surface when light of suitable radiation or suitable frequency strikes the metal surface, is called a photoelectric effect. You can write like this: light of radiation with suitable frequency. You can write here instead of radiation, better to write frequency. రేడియేషన్ అంటే ఒక్కోసారి కరెక్ట్ మీనింగ్ రాకపోవచ్చు. ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ లైట్లో ఎలాగో రేడియేషన్ అనే మీనింగ్ ఇక్కడ వస్తుంది కాబట్టి యూ కెన్ రైట్ సూటబుల్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ అని. suitable frequency or suitable energy or suitable wavelength, you can take anyone. All are same, is a kind of energy units. Light of suitable frequency strikes the metal surface. And next some other words here, threshold frequency. This generally will represent with nu 0, mu naught, threshold frequency. What is the threshold frequency? It is a minimum amount of frequency required to eject the photoelectrons. The minimum frequency required. The minimum frequency required to eject photoelectrons or take photoelectrons, everything in photoelectric effect. By striking a suitable frequency of photon, you can eject the electrons. The minimum frequency required to eject photoelectrons is called threshold frequency, that is a nu 0. Similarly, we have work function. Your work nothing but is a kind of energy transformation only. So how much work we have to do to remove that electron, means how much energy we have to supply. Your work nothing but. So again, this is the minimum amount of energy. Minimum amount of energy required to eject photoelectrons. Is called work function. Your work function generally will represent with the symbol W, or sometimes we can represent with the symbol pi. It's a kind of energy only. What is the energy? H into nu. Here frequency means minimum frequency, that is the threshold frequency. So work function W or pi is equals to, you can write H nu naught. And next, threshold wavelength. That is a lambda naught. Anyhow, it has a frequency, means ultimately it has a wavelength. So again here the minimum wavelength. Sorry, here we have to take maximum wavelength, not minimum. Reverse we have to take. Because frequency less, but wavelength should be the more. They are inverse relation. The maximum wavelength. To eject a photoelectron. Yes, this is a lambda naught. So these three are the definition you should remember. Now here one important critical point. If you take various metals, which metals can have the less amount of work function?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, now which is having the less amount of work function? This type of questions we may expect. So which is having the less work function, which case we required less amount of energy to eject electron, means we have to break the energy, means we have to remove the electron. That process we can call ionization potential or ionization energy. So the metal which is having less amount of ionization energy can take minimum work function. Now if you see the periodic table, out of all elements, alkali metals, that is the first A group elements, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, they are having less ionization potential values, means we can easily remove the electron from the valency shell. So for such elements case, the work function is very less. So their photoelectric effect can take place very easily by supplying a minimum amount of energy. So we can note it down one point here. Alkali metals, mainly here alkali metals, potassium, rubidium and cesium. These are the three elements. They are having very less amount of ionization potentials, so can show photoelectric effect effectively. Can show photoelectric effect. Effectively compared to other. That is why these metals mainly we can use as a in photoelectric cells, can be used in photoelectric cells as a metal surfaces. This is one of the application. We can use in the photoelectric cells, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Here the ejection of electrons order is like this. If take lithium, lithium is having more ionization energy. For this we required more energy to remove the electron. So here photoelectric effect cannot be shown by the lithium that much easily. Next sodium, next potassium and rubidium and cesium. This is the order of photoelectric effect. Order of photoelectric effect means cesium can show effectively the photoelectric effect than rubidium, potassium and sodium. Lithium, sodium, they are having high ionization energy values compared to potassium, rubidium, cesium. So mostly we will use these three elements. Anyhow, in examination they will give the values, particular values, what is the ionization potential values of cesium, rubidium, potassium. They will ask you which metal can show the photoelectric effect by supplying of some energy. Here for example, cesium is having some 50 joules and the rubidium is having some 60 joules and this is some 70 and this is 80 and let us assume this is some 100 joules. This is the ionization energy values and all these are ionization energy values. Now we are incidenting with light of suitable energy with 75 joules. Photon strikes the metal surfaces, all these metals with energy of 75 joules. Then from which metal we can eject electron out of all these? From which metal you can eject electron by supplying of 75 joules? See, to remove electron from potassium we required 70 joules only, but we are passing 75, so you can easily remove the electron from potassium. Similarly, for rubidium we required 60 only, but we are supplying 75. You can easily remove from here. Similarly, cesium it required only 50, so you can very easily. But lithium and sodium, for sodium we required 80 joules. This is not a sufficient amount. But lithium we required again 100, but this is not a sufficient amount. Here lithium and sodium, they cannot show the photoelectric effect. So like this you should remember. They may ask the question. Here we have taken the joules. Sometimes they may give the values in terms of electron volts or calories, depends. Just you have to check it. So now we will see one photoelectric equation, that is Einstein proposed one equation related to this photoelectric effect. And now we will see the equation for photoelectric effect, that is called Einstein photoelectric equation. So in photoelectric effect, what we are doing, we are incidenting. Let us assume this is some kind of metal surface. Here we have the electrons inside. When incident with light of suitable frequency, let us assume here frequency is nu. Then ejection of electron can take place. here we have the three conditions. One is you can supply the frequency with more than threshold frequency. Actually, to remove this electron, we require some minimum amount of frequency or energy, that is a threshold frequency or work function. And if you supply more than that, then what happens? And second case, if you supply equal to that, what happens? And third, if you supply less than that, what happens? The photoelectric effect. Let us see first condition. So we are incidenting with some amount of energy E that is more than the work function, then ejection of electron can take place. Then what about the excess energy? For example, to remove this electron we required 100 joules, right? And we are incidenting with the photon of 120 joules. Then to remove this electron, it will take only out of 120 it will take 100 joules. The remaining 20, after ejection of electron, this electron will move with a speed, means it has some kinetic energy. So the remaining 20 joules the electron will take, and that energy can be converted as the kinetic energy for the ejection after removal of electron. So now overall energy is work function plus this kinetic energy is equals to the incident energy. So that is the case 1. If the frequency incidented is more than the threshold frequency, nothing but work function, then we have the formula E is equals to, according to law of conservation of energy, whatever the energy you supply, initial energy, final energy should be same. So that should be equal to the amount of energy required to eject the electron, that is a work function, plus the remaining energy is converted as a kinetic energy. And this is the formula, where E means incident energy, or incident photon energy, photon or radiation, and where W is the work function. We can represent this with the pi also. Here I have taken W, you can take any one. And K is kinetic energy of ejected electron. This is Ke, kinetic energy of ejected electron. Right now, what is the E according to Planck constant, Planck's theory? We know that E is equals to h nu, where nu means incident frequency, frequency of incident radiation. W means work function. Just now we have seen that there is a threshold frequency, and Ke means half m square, or we can write Ke. We can take the formula like this also. For example, if the data is given in terms of energy values, you can take the first formula directly, or else the data is given in terms of frequencies, then you can use this formula. If they ask kinetic energy from this, kinetic energy Ke, what is the kinetic energy of ejected electron? Then you can use this h nu minus h nu 0, or you can write h you take common out, nu minus nu 0, and this is the kinetic energy. See, your formula is only one formula, better to remember, and you extend the formulas according to the requirement. Don't feel that formulas are increasing again. Sometimes instead of frequency they may give the wavelength values. Then what you have to do? If that data is given in terms of wavelength, then we know that in place of frequency you write the wavelength. Then kinetic energy H is equals to nu means C by lambda. This is the wavelength of incident radiation, and this is again C by, this is a threshold wavelength, a wavelength of the this threshold frequency, means wavelength required to eject the electrons. From this you will get Ke is equals to Hc 1 by lambda minus 1 by lambda 0. This is the formula. And one more point, anyhow, K means what? Of mv square kinetic energy. Why? Because sometimes they may ask you to calculate velocity of the ejected electron. They will give everything, the incident frequency values and threshold frequency, or incident energy and work function, and they may ask you what is the velocity of ejected electron. Again, in place of kinetic energy, you can supply of, this is the mass of electron, velocity of electron. So these are various formulas, but it depends on the requirement. We have to choose the suitable formula. So now we will see case 2. What is the case 2? If we incident the radiation with sufficient energy, where nu equal to nu 0. So again the same, to eject the electron we required 100 joules. Okay, but we are incidenting with the radiation of frequency with 100 or energy. You take here energy is 100 joules, to work function also 100 joules. In this case what happens? Electron just eject. When you supply 100 joules of energy, then electron can just eject, but there is no kinetic energy. There is no further kinetic energy of that electron. Just ejection takes place, means just photoelectric effect can happen. That's it. Means what here? Energy supplied should be equal to the work function. There is no kinetic energy. E equal to W. Means H nu equal to H nu naught. Means nu equal to nu naught. From this, kinetic energy is equal to 0. The main important point here, if you supply with the threshold frequency or the work function, the kinetic energy of the electron is 0. ఈ పాయింట్ ఒకటి గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. And the third case, if the incident energy is less than the threshold or work function, means the frequency is less than threshold frequency, then in this case again you take that your electron and whose binding energy or ionization energy is 100 joule, but now we incidented with the photon of 90 joules. Then can we eject the electron from the metal surface if we supply with 90 joules, but it required 100 joules. So here no photoelectric effect. You cannot eject the electron. If there is no ejection of electron, means it is not a phenomenon of photoelectric effect. So if supplied energy or the incident radiation frequency is less than the threshold frequency, in that case no photoelectric effect. Here we cannot find out any photoelectric effect phenomena. This is also very important. 3 cases. First case very important for numerical part, and the second case kinetic energy equal to 0, and third case no photoelectric effect. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Next, one more important point here in the photoelectric effect, the concept of intensity. Intensity nothing but here number of photons strike per unit area. Simply we can say that a number of photons. As the number of photons increases, the brightness increases, the intensity increases. Simply we can say intensity nothing but a huge number, means more number of photons. Here mainly we will discuss the relation between intensity, kinetic energy, frequency and ejection of electrons. Based on this also we may get questions sometimes. First of all, we will take intensity definition. Simply you understood that is the number of photons. Intensity of light is number of photons. Falling on unit surface area or unit area in unit time. In unit time and unit area, how many photons are striking? That can give its intensity. If more number of photons strikes, we can say it has a more intensity. If less number of photons strikes, we can say it has a less intensity. Now, our main important focus here, the interrelations between the intensity, frequency, kinetic energy and number of electrons ejected. So, that we will see. Interrelation between, let us take intensity, let me represent with I here, let me take frequency, kinetic energy, intensity, number of electrons or number of photoelectrons. And this point is very, very important. Let us take one small explanation here again. We will go with small explanation. Let me take one metal surface. Again, here electron is there. Here the ionization energy or binding energy of this electron. Again, we assume that it is 100 joules. What I will do, I will incident with one photon of energy 110 joule. And whose frequency is something more than that, it is 100 joules. Then what happens to the kinetic energy? If incident with light of incident radiation 110 joules and whose ionization energy of the metal surface is 100 joules. Then what about kinetic energy in this case? Kinetic energy 10 joules. Anyhow, you are supplying 110, electron will take 100 joules to do the work to remove the electron. The remaining 10 joules can be converted to the kinetic energy only, isn't it? Now what I will do? Now I will incident other photon. Now it is not with 110 joule. Now with 120 joules. Then what happens with the kinetic energy?
20 joules.
20 joules.
20 joules. Or I'll incident with some 250 joules. What about the kinetic energy?
150 joules.
150 joules, right? So means here, if we increase the energy of nothing but frequency, if we increase the incident radiation frequency, the kinetic energy increases. So simply we can say that frequency is directly related to the kinetic energy or kinetic energy of ejected electron, that is kinetic energy of photoelectron is directly proportional to the frequency, right? We can make a statement here. Similarly, what I will do, one more experiment. Again we have here 100 joules. The electron energy same, let us assume, but I will incident at a time 2 photons. One is with 100 joules and one is with 90 joules. Then what about the kinetic energy of ejected electron?
90.
Is this 90?
90.
Think once again.
Sir, no kinetic energy.
So here no kinetic energy is 0. For example, I'll incident with 90 joule, 100 joule and one more photon with 100 joules.
Then also 0.
Then not in this case also the kinetic energy of ejected electron is 0.
0.
But I'll incident with some other photon with 120 joules. Then kinetic
20,
energy
sir.
of ejected electron is 20 joules. Means what here? When you supply with 90 joules, electron cannot eject. In this case, there is no photoelectric effect. But when you supply with 2 photons of 100 joules, here 2 photons means what? Intensity. See now, previously we have discussed one word, intensity. Intensity means number of photons at a time per unit time and the unit area striking. Then what happens if you take 2 photons, instead of kinetic energy 100 joules, it will eject 2 electrons. 1 photon can eject 1 electron. This point you should remember. 1 photon can eject 1 electron. You are incidenting with 2 photons of same frequency. But here the kinetic energy is not equal to 100 joules. Instead that 2 electrons can eject from the metal surface. Again this 120 joules, it can eject another electron. Third electron can eject. Means when you supply with the same frequency with more number of photons. So instead of increase the there is no change in the kinetic energy. Only we can observe the ejection of number of electrons. So number of photoelectrons ejected increases. So here you can make one statement: intensity. If you irradiate with the radiation with more intensity, more number of photoelectrons can eject. Okay, na? This point you should remember. So here two statements we have: frequency directly related to the kinetic energy, and here intensity is directly related to the number of electrons ejected. And here frequency, if you supply with 250 joules, there is no 2 electrons ejected. If 250 joules supply చేసామనుకోండి, 2 electrons same రావు, only 1 electron can eject, but kinetic energy is 150 joules. And if you supply 2 photons here, you will not get kinetic energy 100, but 2 electrons can eject. Isn't it? So from this we can write these two relations. Your frequency is directly proportional to kinetic energy. As the frequency increases, kinetic energy increases by keeping the intensity may be constant. And the second case, by keeping the frequency of the radiation constant, if we increase the intensity, here I value, then number of electrons ejected increases. So I is directly proportional to number of photoelectrons. A photoelectron nothing but ejected electron only. Number of photoelectrons. These two relations are very, very important. There is no relation between intensity and kinetic energy, and frequency and number of photons. Means photoelectrons. Based on this, we can write some graphical representation. These graphs are very, very important. First, we will take direct relation. Kinetic energy versus intensity. What type of graph we'll get? We'll get a linear graph, but very, very important. Here it will not pass to the origin. Let me take one more graph. Before that,
From V0, sir.
if I take a graph, intensity, I versus number of photoelectrons ejected. Number of photoelectrons. In this case, anyhow, we'll get the graph almost which passes to the origin. But in this case, you will get with some negative intercept. So this kind of the graph you will get it. So it will touch somewhere at the y-axis in the negative part. Why? Why? Because according to the equation, Ke is equals to h nu minus h nu naught. We are writing here the graph with respect to kinetic energy versus this nu. Y equal to mx minus c. So this point, what is this point? This is called nu 0. Means to eject electron, initially we required some energy, right? So by applying zero frequency, we cannot eject electron. Initially we required some energy. So up here to here, this part is called a threshold frequency. So after getting this threshold frequency, only electron can eject, then the kinetic energy will increase. That is why you cannot write the graph from origin. This point you should keep in mind, very important. And if you draw a graph like this, and if you want to get the graph which passes through the origin, then we can take a kinetic energy versus nu minus nu zero. If you take like this, you will get the graph which passes through the origin. Why? Because the formula kinetic energy is equals to h nu minus nu zero. Like y equal to mx directly. Here slope is the Planck constant. Okay, if you take nu minus 0, this is the graph, but if you take nu, this is the graph. This is very important, you should keep in mind. And this is also. And one more graph, we know that there is no relation between kinetic energy and intensity. Because sometimes they may give the graph with respect to kinetic energy and intensity. Now tell me, in this case what happens if you increase the intensity? But with same frequency, if the number of photons strikes, there is no change with the kinetic energy. Only number of photoelectrons ejected increases. Kinetic energy is constant with increasing intensity. So these four graphs are very important. Anyhow, with respect to these relations, they may ask the graph any manner. We should remember, these relations manaku idea unte, accordingly you can draw the graph. Okay, idi koncham good. So then after we will see a small concept of stopping potential. This will represent with V0. Here V nothing but a potential, stopping potential V0. What is the meaning of stopping potential? Again you see the photoelectric effect, the phenomenon. Just now we have studied that this you connect external to the battery. When light of suitable frequency strikes the metal surface, electron can eject from the metal surface, and these electrons can move towards anode, and some photocurrent can generate. In this case, we know that some electron is ejecting. Now what we'll do, we'll apply some electric field externally. Okay, now we have this is connected to the battery. Now you supply the external current with some voltage, some potential. How much potential? So after ejection of electron, it is moving towards the anode anyhow. To stop this movement of electron, just the kinetic energy of electron we make 0 when you apply the opposite force. When you apply some opposite force, automatically the electron cannot come. So how much force you have to apply? Just to the ejection of electron only can take place. After that, there should not be any kinetic energy. The movement of electron should be stopped by applying opposite force. So whatever the amount of potential we have to supply externally just to stop the ejection of electron, that is called stopping potential. So you are applying some external potential to stop the movement of anyhow photoelectric effect. That phenomenon can take place, just ejection of electron only. There is no further movement of electron. So that oppose that movement of electron, we have to apply some externally that potential by using this external electric field. That is called stopping potential. Here stopping potential almost equal to the kinetic energy, nothing but kinetic energy. So whatever the kinetic energy electron it has, so that much potential if you apply oppositely, electron cannot move further. Just you can write the definition for this. Stopping potential nothing but it is the minimum potential It is a minimum potential at which the photoelectric current becomes zero. So photoelectric current becomes zero means the electron cannot moving further. It is cannot moving into the circuit to generate the photocurrent. Just we are stopping the movement of electron. So that much potential, minimum potential at which the photoelectric current becomes zero. And that in that case the energy, kinetic energy only, that is kinetic energy is equals to charge of that electron whatever we are applying into potential. Kinetic energy is equal to E into V naught. What is the kinetic energy according to the photoelectric effect? So this we can write the formula in another way. E V naught is equals to H nu minus H nu naught. In the data, if they give the kinetic energy, you can use this formula directly. You can apply, you can find out the stopping potential values. And if they give the initial frequency and the threshold frequency, you can identify what is the stopping potential from this equation. Here, where E is the charge of electron, here E is the charge of electron, and V naught is the stopping potential. Sometimes questions can be asked based on this 1 to numericals. You should remember this one. So now we will see one more small concept. Actually, this is not there for our syllabus mains level, but even we will get in detail in the physics. We will see only the definition here. There is a Compton effect. So what is a Compton effect here? If you take an object, when incident this object with strike with some X-ray, it has some wavelength. Then it can eject the electrons. The electron present in that object can be ejected. Anyhow, it also some wavelength. This is the ejected electron, and some of the energy in that incident X-ray. Anyhow, X-rays, they are having high energy radiations. So when incident in the some objects, they can eject electron from the object, and the remaining energy can be scattered. And it also some wavelength. And this is a scattered X-ray. And with an angle, let us see the angle, the ejected electron angle, let us assume pi, and the scattered X-ray angle is theta. And according to Compton effect, the wavelength change or wavelength of the scattered X-ray after striking on the object is more wavelength or less frequency than the incident X-ray. That is a Compton effect. Anyhow, if you incident with some ray on the object, some of the energy can be utilized here to eject the electron. The remaining energy can be converted into the scattering ray, here scattered X-ray. So here the wavelength or frequency of the scattered ray is less than the incident ray. That is a Compton effect. So that we can calculate by taking one formula. He gave one formula also. First of all, you write the definition for this Compton effect. We can write the definition here. The increase in wavelength or decreasing in frequency of X-rays after scattering from an object is called Compton effect. The increasing in wavelength or decreasing in frequency of X-rays after scattering from an object is called Compton effect. And for this, let us assume the incident X-rays wavelength is lambda I, initial wavelength, and the scattered wavelength, let us assume this is the final wavelength, lambda f. Then the change in wavelengths, that is delta lambda, is equals to final wavelength minus initial wavelength. Anyhow, final wavelength is more. Why? Because frequency is less. Initial wavelength is less. Why? Because frequency is more. Is equals to h by m naught c into 1 minus cos theta. And this is the formula given by Compton. Just not required much details here. Just remember the formula. So here where lambda f, this is a wavelength of scattered ray. And this is wavelength of incident X-ray. And where anyhow h is a Planck constant, and m naught mass of electron at rest, and c is the speed of light or velocity of light, and theta is angle of scattered ray. There is a theta value. Again here the wavelength or frequency of the scattered ray is independent on the initial intensity of the light, only depends on the frequency and angle. So it independent. On intensity of the light or intensity of the X-ray, and depend on frequency and angle of scattering or scattered angle of scattering. Here the increasing in wavelength or decreasing frequency will not depends on the intensity of the incident ray. It depends only on frequency or angle of scattering. So this is something about Compton effect. This much enough, just to remember. And here we will get it till back again the physics. Don't worry. We'll see a few numericals here.
Sir.
The threshold frequency nu 0 for a metal is 7 into 10 power 14 second inverse. Calculate kinetic energy of an electron emitted when radiation of frequency one into 10 power 15 seconds hits the metal. So here threshold frequency mu naught is given for a metal. This is 7 into 10 power 14 second inverse. Then we have to calculate the kinetic energy when the metal is incidented with some frequency of radiation 1 into 10 power 15. What is the formula? Directly we have the formula kinetic energy is equals to h into incident frequency minus threshold frequency. You substitute in this, you will get the answer. Try one another this one.
Sir, 1.9 to the power of minus 90.
Yes, sir, Raghu.
So here 6.625 10 power minus 34 joule second. This is 10 power 15 minus, you can write this is 0.7 into 10 power 15. So simplify చేస్తే ఎంత వస్తుందన్న 1.98 into 10 power minus 19 joules. In photoelectric effect, let me take directly P. The energy of photon striking a metallic surface is .6 into 10 power minus 19 joules. The kinetic energy of the ejected electron is .12 into 10 power 20 joules. Find the work function. Find work function means find W value.
Sir, 5.6 into 10 per
And this is minus 20.
Sir, minus 2.
So here what formula? Kinetic energy is given, instant energy is given, W. So we know that energy E is equals to work function kinetic energy. Just you have to subtract, that's it, right? Work function is equals to this one. This is 5.6 means you can write 56 into 10 power minus 20 minus kinetic energy 12 into 10 power minus 20. How much will get? This is 44 into 10 power minus 20 joules. A very basic question. One more question here. A photoelectric emission is observed from a surface for frequencies mu1 and nu2. The kinetic energy in two cases or in the ratio 1:k. Then the threshold frequencies so this is in terms of nu1, nu2 and k. In terms of kinetic energies and incident frequencies, we have to calculate the threshold frequency of that metal surface. What is the question? Photoelectric emission is observed from a surface for frequencies. Two frequencies can be incidented. Then the kinetic energy in the two cases is 1:k ratio. Then the threshold frequency. It's the same metal here. First, we are incidenting with the frequency nu1, again frequency nu2. In case of first case, it has some kinetic energy Ke1, and the second case it has a kinetic energy Ke2, and it has some threshold frequency nu0. These are the values nu1, nu2. We don't know what is the values. We have to calculate the relation. We have to find the relation with respect to the incident frequencies and kinetic energy. And here the relation between Ke1 and Ke2 is given 1:k. So how to find out this nu0? Now we have the formula. Kinetic energy Ke is equals to H. Let us take kinetic energy 1. Nu1 minus nu0. Similarly, kinetic energy 2 is equals to H nu2 minus nu0. Now take the ratio of K1 by K2. We know that K1 ratio K2 is 1 by K. You take the ratio of these two. HH will cancel out. Then 1 by K is equals to nu1 minus nu0 by nu2 minus nu0. Just you simplify this one, you will get the nu0. If you try to simplify this one, what you will get it? Nu2 minus nu0 is equals to K nu1 minus K nu0. From this, K nu0 minus nu0 is equals to K nu1 minus nu2. From this you can take nu0 common out, then nu0 is equals to K nu1 minus nu2 by K minus 1. And this is the threshold frequency values. Only one more related question, interrelated question only. Threshold frequency of metal is F0 when light of frequency mu equal to 2 f naught is incident on the metal surface, velocity of ejected electron is v1. When plate frequency of incident radiation is phi f naught, v2 is the velocity of emitted electron. Then v1 ratio v2 is given as x is to y. Then x plus y equal to how much? Let's see here, a threshold frequency of metal. We have one metal and whose threshold frequency is given f naught, just like previous question. When light of frequency, some incident frequency 2 f naught is incident on the metal surface, then velocity of ejected electron, electron is ejected and whose velocity is v1. Then the same metal plate of frequency with phi f naught is incidented on the same metal surface whose threshold frequency is f naught. Again the electron ejected, and in this case the velocity of electron is v2. Now the ratio of v1 is to v2 is given x is to y. Then what is x plus y? Again, how to find out? Just like a previous, the kinetic energy is equals to h nu minus nu 0 from this formula. Kinetic energy means of mv square. Of mv means first electron, let us take of v1 square is equals to h. Initial case the incident frequency is 2 f naught minus this is threshold frequency f naught. You will get equation 1. In the second case of mv2 square, again h, second time the incident frequency is phi f naught and this is anyhow f naught. This is second equation. Now we have to calculate v1 ratio v2. Just should take 1:2 ratio, equation 1 by equation 2. This will cancel out, hh will cancel out and f naught will cancel out. What left here? 2 minus 1 1 and 5 minus 1 4. So you will get v1 square by v2 square is equals to 1 by 4. From this v1 by v2 is equals to 1 by 2. Then what is the x is to y, Nana? X ratio y equal to 1:2. Then x plus y equal to